coming on Friday, and then the clothes fall off, 'cause it's just minutes and highways, until the one I love, the one I love, said, I never knew that I could love someone the way that I love you. I never knew.
Come away with me in the night. Come away with me, and I will write you a song. Come away with me on a bus. Come away where they can't tempt us with their lies. And I wanna walk with you on a cloudy day in fields where the yellow grass grows knee high. So won't you try to come away with me, and we'll kiss on a mountain top. Come away with me, and I'll never stop loving you.
Welcome to the most important moment in the lives of this beautiful couple. Chris and Kim would like to give a special thanks to everyone who traveled long distances all over the country to be here today. When I was thinking about it, actually, I don't think anyone is from Key West, so everyone gets a special thanks for traveling here today. At this time, we'd like to take a moment to remember those who are not here with us. Even though they are not physically here, they are part of the foundation that makes Kim and Chris the people they are today. Please cherish the memories of these friends and families and all others who live in our hearts. Thank you. My name is Anthony Xullo, and I'll be your wedding officiant. To many of you, this might be a surprise because I'm not a priest or a minister. It's actually my first time doing this, so welcome to my debut as an officiant. It was pretty easy, though, finding all the information I needed to. I just used my favorite search engine of yahoo.com, which I love. I'm just kidding. You know I love Google. I'm just a very good friend of Kim and Chris, and also known sometime as the third wheel of this relationship, so it's somewhat fitting that I'm up here with them today. All jokes aside, though, I love you both dearly, and I'm truly honored and blessed to be up here, and I couldn't have it any other way.
Thank you.
I'd like to briefly share with you Chapter 1 of this fairy tale love story starring Kim and Chris. Chapter 1. I had the privilege of meeting both of them at the University of Central Florida in our senior year. We were in the professional selling program together. Some others in the crowd were with us as well. And it was a very rigorous, very stressful program. We had a lot of projects to do, and we had to wear suits and name tags every day to class. And when I met Kim, she was very, very quiet, which is probably a surprise to most. But she had this very conservative suit on and these thick glasses, and her hair was pulled back in this tight ponytail, and she was quiet. And couple weeks into the program, a bunch of our friends get together and we go to this party, and we're all around chatting, having a good time, and in walks Kim with this short mini skirt, glasses are gone, fiery red hair is flowing in the wind, and everyone just kind of paused. It was like a scene from a movie, and it was like a whole new girl, and in walks this whole new Kim Pienta. And it was that night and that moment that Chris Demery fell in love with Kim Pienta. I'll get back to that story in a second. I met Chris the same time in school, and we quickly hit it off. Different areas we grew up in, but we had a common connection, and we quickly found our seats in the back corner of the class and made those our seats for the rest of the school year. And Chris was at that party that night as well, and we're having a good time, and we stepped outside for a moment to get some air and have usual guy talk. I don't know if you remember this, but we're chatting, and I'm talking about life and sports, and he kind of interrupts me, and he's like, hey, so what do you think of Kim? And I'm like, yeah, she's cool. I'm like, looks different tonight. I start talking again, and he kind of has a look, and he's like, yeah, but what do you think of her? And I'm like, she's cool, Chris. Like, and I'm kind of like a little thrown off. I'm like, well, what do you think of her? And he pauses, and this big grin comes over his face. And he's like, I like her. I'm like, you like her? He's like, yeah, I like her. I'm gonna make her mine. And at that moment, I was like, Chris, I like you a lot, but you got your work cut out for you. And you better bring your A game if you're gonna get Chris. So a few weeks go by, months go by, and I kind of forgot about it. And again, a bunch of us plan to go out for the evening, and I let everyone know I'm gonna be a little bit late. And our friend Vicky is texting me like, when are you gonna show up? Like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm coming. Like, what's going on? She's like, it's all couples here. Everyone's couples. I'm just the only one. And I'm thinking, who's there? And I'm like, no, you have Chris and Kim. And she's like, Chris and Kim are all over each other. And I knew at that moment, he got what he wanted. And the smile that came over my face was as big as Chris when we were talking about Kim for the first night. And I was very proud, and I felt like a proud brother at that moment. And it was a good time. From there, we spent the rest of our school year together, and graduation came, and Chris and Kim let all of our friends know that they were taking the next journey in their life, and they were moving from Florida to Texas. And I was very happy, but very sad at the same time to see you both go. And I was thinking how scary this must be, a whole new adventure for you. But for the two of you, it wasn't scary at all, because you had each other. And when you have each other, you can do anything together. And whether it's move away, move far away, move across the country, you can do it together. And I had the privilege of recently taking a trip with the two of them and a few others to Europe. And we went to Barcelona, Spain. And everyone's telling us you have to go to this beautiful church, La Sagrada Familia. And so we're on our way, we're walking, and Kim for this trip was our unofficial tour guide. Whether we wanted her to be or not, she was always telling us facts. She had this little book, and everywhere we went, she was spitting out little facts. And when we get to the church, she's telling us all these amazing things, and how it's 500 feet tall, and it holds 9,000 people, and it was built in the late 1800s. It's over 134 years old. I mean, it is an amazing sight to see. And I'm soaking it all in, and I'm thinking, you know, the most crazy thing about this church to me is that they're still building it. So it's over 134 years old, and there's still construction going on. And I began to think about Kim and Chris, and how their love story has come along like this church. And how very similar the two of you were. You know, buildings like this church, they're not constructed in one day. They're just 2 or 3 big pieces, and boom, you have a church. It doesn't work like that. They're built brick by brick, big pieces, little pieces, stone by stone. Each small, some impossible to see, but every piece reinforces the strength of that building. Your love is a lot like this. You laid the foundation 7 years ago. And every day since, you've built upon it, brick by brick, stone by stone. And it's not just the big moments, it's the small ones as well. Whether it's a phone call, a kiss, a word, but every day you're building. And there'll be some big moments, there'll be some big stones you throw in there. Today being one of them, of course. But it's those daily ones. It's the small ones that build this amazing love that the both of you share. And like the church, just remember, keep building every day. As I was walking around this church, there's plaques all over of little signs, and probably read 20 or 30 of them, and one of them particularly stuck out in my mind. I actually remember taking a picture of it, and so I'm going to use this in the ceremony. I didn't know how, but I'm not going to use it. It'd be nice if I could say it. But it's loving is seeking the other's happiness, and by doing so, finding your own happiness. Kim and Chris have written their own vows, and at this time, they'd like to share them with everyone.
Okay, go first.
Yes.
Chris, I've loved you since first meeting you at UCF. And standing here today, making a commitment to share my life with you, my love is stronger than ever. In the beginning, it was obvious there was a spark between us, and I hoped it would develop. Between study sessions at the library, coffee chats in the Starbucks parking lot, and the epic spring break trip to Key West, I got to know you more and more, and the more I got to know you, the more I admired and respected you as an individual, and the deeper I fell in love with you. You're kind and caring to everyone you meet, and to those whom you love, you're the best friend anyone could ask for. You challenge me and make me want to be the best version of myself while fully accepting and loving me at the same time. When you look at me, I feel like I'm the most special girl in the world. So I don't have to imagine what a life would be like with you. The past 7 years have shown me that no matter where in the world we are, when I'm with you, I'm home. With you, I feel safe and at peace. I feel like anything is possible. My promise to you is that for the rest of my life, I'll stand by your side, respect, cherish, and love you. There's more. When you have trouble sleeping, I'll cuddle until you can. When you have a bad dream, I'll wake you. When you're sick, I'll look after you. And when you're healthy, I'll go on adventures with you. When you come home stressed from work, I'll be there to give you a big hug. When you want to celebrate, I'll be the first to pop the champagne. For every hope and dream I've had about who would be standing across from me on this day, you've far surpassed all of them. You're my favorite travel buddy, my biggest supporter, my best friend, and the love of my life. We've been on so many great adventures together, and today we begin the best one. I love you.
Kimberly and Pienza. We've waited 7 years to get to this moment. And while I'm 100% sure our family wishes it was much sooner, it was definitely worth the wait. Today I get to marry my best friend. What a journey it's been to get here. Our journey has taken us from the Sunshine State to the Lone Star State to down under in the land of kangaroos and koalas. I'm so lucky to have such a beautiful bride who makes me so happy. I love you with all of my heart. When we first met in the sales program, I knew there was something special about you. I remember looking at your name and thinking, I didn't realize Latinos have red hair. Of course, I later learned you're not Latina, but you're actually Polish and you make a mean pierogi. It was immediately apparent to me that you have a zest for life, You'll never settle for less than you deserve, and you never should. A few months later, we went to the Orlando Beer Festival, and we were discussing the idea of living in Spain. I remember thinking to myself, I love this girl's adventurous attitude. Couldn't have dreamed of the number of adventures we would have, from traveling across Asia to exploring the Outback to getting engaged in Paris and visiting the actual original beer fest. It's not just traveling that matters, though. It's the little moments that really matter. Like when I sneak up on you in the kitchen for impromptu dancing. At least until you're worried something's burning. You always impress me with your cooking skills, and I promise to take your advice in the kitchen when I'm cooking. Spontaneity is important to you, whereas I like things a little more planned, but I promise to continue surprising you with impromptu dancing and pushing myself to always be spontaneous. My favorite time of the day is morning, because I almost always wake up before you, and I get to see you sleeping in your peaceful state. I cherish these little moments, and I look forward to making new ones the rest of our lives. The journey hasn't always been smooth, but we've made it through. We made it through by pushing each other and challenging each other, but most importantly, supporting each other. Some people here probably know we ran a marathon, but not many people have heard the next part of the story. On the day of the marathon, I was about a quarter of the way through, and my knees started hurting. I knew something wasn't right, and after months of training, I started to get the feeling I might not be able to finish. Throughout the mental and physical anguish of the race, the only thing that kept me pushing through was you. The thought of seeing you when I crossed the finish line kept me going. When I finally crossed the line and hugged you, it just broke down. I had never felt so broken and vulnerable as I did in that moment. But holding you in my arms made me feel whole again. You're the only person that I could be that vulnerable around, because you know everything about me, all of my flaws, and you still love me. I promise to always keep pushing you and challenging you to be better. I promise to always be vulnerable to you and to support you in your most vulnerable times. You're the most caring person I know, and I promise to always aspire to be as loving and as caring as you. Until my time on this earth ends, I promise to love and cherish you in sickness and in health, through good times and bad times. Your happiness is more important to me than anything in the world. I vow to listen when you've had a hard day, to celebrate when you've had a good day, and to always be your biggest fan. I love you.
Thank you. Those are both beautiful. Chad, the rings. Chris, please place the ring on Kim's hand. Kim, please place the ring on Chris's hand. The ring is an ancient symbol, so perfect and simple. It has no beginning and has no end. It is round like the sun, like the moon, like the eye, like arms that embrace. It is a circle, for love that is given comes back around again. Your rings are precious because you wear them with love. They symbolize your commitment in marriage. They remind you of who you are, where you've been, and where you're going. As you wear them through time, they will reflect not only who you are as individuals, but also who you are as a couple. Throughout this ceremony, Kim and Chris have vowed in our presence to be loyal and loving towards each other. They have formalized the existence of the bond between them with words spoken and with giving and receiving of the rings. Therefore, it is my pleasure to now officially announce you as husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Chris and Kim Demery.
sun, I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. It's alright.
Relax, Max. Your nerves are just like jumping jacks, Max. Your heart is thumping with a crazy sound. Hear it pound, a bumping, 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 jumping up and down. Stay cool, fool. Just take it easy, that's the rule, fool. The evening hasn't even started yet. So my pet, control yourself, don't get upset. Don't think I'm cold if I say you're too bold. I've been fooled by that moon up above. I want your kiss just as you want my kiss, but a kiss is no kiss without love. So relax, Max. I hate to stop you in your tracks, Max, but first you gotta prove your love to me. When you do, I'll love you, love you, love you like you want me to.
Baby, it's been a long day, baby. Things ain't been going my way, you know I need you here. You clear my mind all the time. And baby, the way you move me, it's crazy. It's like you see right through me and make it easier. You Believe me, you don't even have to try. Oh, because you are the best thing. You are the best thing. You are the best thing ever happened to me. Baby, come a long way, baby. You know I hope and I pray that you believe me when I say this love will never fade away. Oh, because you are the best thing. You are the best thing. You are the best thing ever happened to me. Both of us have known love before. Come on, all promising like the spring to walk on out the door. Our hearts are strong and our hearts are kind. Let me tell you just exactly what is on my mind. You are the best thing.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, is this better? Can everybody hear me? All the way in. All right. So, hello for everybody that does not know me. My name is Ashley. I am delighted to be the maid of honor as well as best friends of 17 years with the oh so lovely bride. I want to take everybody way back to the year 1999. I remember like it was yesterday. I was in the 7th grade at a small private school, and in walks the principal and a girl with long curly red hair, our school uniform, and the oh so stylish saddle shoes. The principal then states, "This is Kim and she's going to be joining your class." Well, everyone's kind of looking around like, what in the world is going on here? Now, mind you, our entire 7th grade class consisted of 30 kids, all of which had known each other since kindergarten and grown up together. So the idea of having a new student in our class never really happened before. Well, little did I know that the new girl with curly long red hair would turn out to be my lifelong best friend. It's pretty awesome to say that I've known Kim for 17 years. I've had the unique opportunity to watch Kim grow, mature, and evolve into the wonderful, beautiful, amazing, elegant woman that she is today. As you can imagine, knowing somebody for that long also allows for thousands and thousands of memories, laughs, jokes, and stories, some of which we still don't discuss in front of our parents. I've had a very hard time choosing my most favorite memory of just Kim and I, because to tell you the truth, they are all my favorites. So instead, I decided to tell a story about you, Chris. Dun dun dun! All right, so I hadn't really heard a lot about you, but from what I did hear, I could tell there was something different. The way Kim talked about you, it was like I could see her smile and feel her happiness through the other end of the phone. One day, she called to tell me that she was going to be packing up and moving to Austin, Texas with you. I was shocked, yes, but worried, no. Well, why? Because I know Kim and everything about her screamed, "I'm in love." I did, however, remind Kim during that same phone call that her parents and I still had not met you, and quite frankly, she was not allowed to pack up and leave until that happened. So, Kim arranged for myself, her mom Sue, and Jeff to meet Chris. The 5 of us all went to dinner the night before graduation. Now, we were all forewarned by Kim that she did not want a constant storm of questions that made Chris feel like he was being interrogated. So, of course, we spent hours developing a list of questions to ask Chris at dinner. We wanted him to know just exactly who we were and what he was getting into. As we sat down for dinner, we immediately brought out our pages of notes designed to interrogate Chris and find out just who was this Christopher Demwed. In our most straight faces and serious tones of voice, we asked, boxers or briefs? Gators or knolls? Tattoos or nose rings? And can you believe he actually sat there and answered questions from people he had never even met before? Note to file, boxers, gators, and no tattoos for Mr. Demwed. At that point, he had passed our test and was forever welcomed into our family. Chris and Kim have since traveled all over the world, enjoying each other and always believing in each other. I know this couple can do anything that they put their minds to. Their adventures together have been wonderful from the start. They used to be two people who were individually respected and loved by their families and friends, but today they have evolved into a new family whom we will all look forward to loving forever. Chris and Kim, may you continue to always love and believe in each other as you do today. Please raise your glasses and congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Demwed on the day that we get to call them husband and wife for the very first time. Cheers and happiness forever from all those who love you all so very much.
Now we'd like to welcome our best man, Chad.
All right. Let me start by thanking the parents of the bride and groom for putting this weekend together and making it possible in beautiful Key West. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Chad Freeling, and I met Chris at the University of Central Florida. This all started at the University of Central Florida, UCF. Chris and I met a lot of friends that year, our freshman year, in Sumter Hall, many of which are here today. We met the first or second day of classes, and we instantly had a bond. I remember the first thing that we had in common was that we both went to Catholic school from kindergarten through all the way through high school. And naturally, the second thing we had in common was that was the first week we ever gone to school without a uniform on. I remember spending a lot of Tuesday nights at the Liquid Cellar and a lot of free time on the Sumter Hall benches. The benches definitely deserve an honorable mention. Our freshman year, we went to Panama City for spring break, and on the way there, we stopped at Jacksonville, which is the first time I met Chris's parents and his sister Nicole. And that's pretty much all I can say about that trip. After freshman year, we decided to get an apartment together in Jefferson Lofts with a couple other friends. That was an amazing year, but to be honest, that year is full of a lot of blanks. After Jefferson Lofts, Chris and I got our own place together at Pine Harbor, which is where we spent the next couple of years. Chris, you helped me get through some tough times those couple of years, for which I'll always be thankful. I'll always remember Chris's work ethic, whether it was waking up at 5 a.m. to go across town to caddy at the Ritz-Carlton, or pulling all-nighters to ensure he got the best grade possible. I'll also remember the heat beating the Pistons and you avoiding me for a week. At some point, our bromance had to come to an end. And shortly after this time is when Chris met Kim. If you know Chris, you know Chris loves surfing. But more than surfing, Chris loves riding life. Kim, you're that once-in-a-lifetime perfect wave. And I couldn't be happier that Chris gets to share his life with you. Chris, I'm honored to be your best man. I love you guys, and I wish you nothing but the best. Now let's all raise our glasses to Mr. and Mrs. Demery. May you live a long and happy life together.
Hello. So you guys have probably heard the story now. 7 years ago, we came to Key West, and it was a pretty important trip for Kim and I. It's one of the reasons that we're here today. Nathan, who's in my bridal party the other week, he had a good tagline that I think is the new tagline for the week, which is, "What happens in Key West causes you to come back 7 years later and get married." No, in all seriousness, no, we're so touched that you all came out here. You guys are what really make the wedding. It's all about the people. First of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife, who spent hours putting all this together, laboring over details, asking me lots of questions that I didn't have answers to most of the time, so thank you. Next, I'd like to thank our family for all their help. Sherry and Dee, Jeff and Sue, of course, my wonderful mother. Thank you guys so much for your help. Mom, of course, I wish that Dad could be here today, but we keep him in our memories, and I'm sure he would have loved it as well. A big thank you to the wedding party. You guys are amazing. You've all gone above and beyond in some way this weekend. We've called on errands and favors and things, so thank you guys so much for being a part of the wedding and doing everything to make it the day as smooth as possible and just being an amazing group of friends. We love you guys. Thank you to Anthony for being an amazing officiant. I think there could be a second career in that for you if you want to keep that up. No, you did an excellent job, man. I know it's a lot of work, it's a lot of pressure, but you nailed it, so nice job, man. And again, Kim and I are just so incredibly thankful. We have people that flew in all the way from Australia. It's just amazing to have people fly everywhere. But the reality is, I think Anthony said it earlier, everyone had to travel. Key West is a destination wedding, so we really appreciate the time and effort that everyone put to be here. And we're thankful you're here to celebrate with us. And we love you, and we're looking forward to having a great evening with you.
Whenever I'm
of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Look at the two of you dancing that way, lost in the moment and each other's face. So much in love, you're alone in this place, like there's nobody else in the world. I was enough for her not long ago. I was her number one, she told me so, and she still means the world to me, just so you know. So be careful when you hold my girl. Time changes everything, life must go on. I'm not gonna stand in your way. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. How could that beautiful woman with you be the same freckle-faced kid that I knew? The one that I read all those fairy tales to, and tucked into bed all those nights. And I knew the first time I saw you with her, it was only a matter of time. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away.